Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
I often shoot videos early in the morning, so sometimes before I go to bed at night, I'll make sure that I've found two stories that I can do the next morning. And last night I wasn't feeling it. I didn't actually have two lined up to go this morning. So I thought maybe something will provide me with a story by tomorrow morning. Well, it was a guy named Joe. Joe sent me a note and said, Steve, check this out. From KRCR, Los Angeles, Ashley Harding wrote the story. California men use bear costume to pull off bizarre insurance fraud plot. 4 Los Angeles men have been charged with fraud after claiming a bear caused damage to their luxury vehicles, but they were actually using a bear costume and faking the attacks for insurance payouts. Yes, bears climbing into cars and trashing the cars and then climbing out and going away. It would be a little unusual. My understanding is that bears are often looking for food, but they're often following their noses. But I've never heard of a bear just breaking into a car to vandalize it just for the fun of it. According to the Department of Insurance, the 4 men are 39, 32, and 26 in age. They've all been charged with insurance fraud and conspiracy after their bear video came to light as nothing more than a grisly attempt at fraud. California Insurance Commissioner said the DOI began investigating the alleged bear attack after an insurance company suspected fraud. The 4 men told the insurance company that on January 28th in Lake Arrowhead, a bear entered their 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost and caused interior damage to the vehicle. The 4 then shared a video with the insurance company of the alleged bear attack, where you can see a man in a bear costume crawl into the vehicle and damage the vehicle himself. Scrutiny around the video caused speculation of the company. So an investigation into the video showed that the bear was actually a person in a bear costume. Now you might say, but Steve, how did they figure that out? Well, among other things, they hired a biologist. But first, during the investigation, detectives found 2 additional insurance claims with 2 different insurance companies for the suspects with the same date of loss and at the same location, involving 2 different vehicles. A 2015 Mercedes G63 AMG and a 2022 Mercedes E350. They said that in all the videos what appeared to be a man in a bear costume would enter and damage the vehicles. That's the Department of Insurance speaking. The DOI then hired a biologist to confirm that that was not a real bear. The biologist from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife confirmed to the DOI that it was clearly a human in a bear suit after reviewing the footage. So now here's the thing. You go, okay, but Steve, that means someone broke into their cars wearing a bear suit and damaged it. Isn't that covered by insurance? Well, not if it's you. Officials got a search warrant for the suspect's home where detectives located the infamous bear costume used in the plot. The insurance companies were defrauded out of $141,000 because of the alleged fraud committed by the suspects. Department detectives were assisted by the Glendale Police Department and the California Highway Patrol. The San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office is prosecuting the case. So it's 4 men being prosecuted for insurance fraud. Underlying that is a story that they had claimed a bear had climbed into their cars and damaged the cars, and they filed claims for that. And of course, now they're saying that, yeah, what happened here was these guys came up with this plan and bought a bear costume. And it's amazing. You can find the video on the internet. It's out there. Just type in California men bear and insurance. I'm sure you'll find it. But there was a story, I believe, out of China, where there was a bear in a zoo that would occasionally stand up on its hind legs and look around and then just wave. And if you saw the footage, you'd look at it and go, wow, are you sure that's not a person in a bear costume? And it became an internet sensation. It's a few months ago. And you wonder about that, but bears aren't that hard to come by. So it's not like, it's such a rare and exotic animal that it's cheaper to hire a guy in a bear suit. But, nowadays you never know. I also saw on the internet, I'm pretty sure this is true, although frankly, anything on the internet might be something different than what you think it is. A zoo someplace that wanted to have an animal that looks kind of like a smaller panda, but they couldn't get those. So they simply shaved some dogs and spray painted them. But here, the interesting part of this is that if you look at the damage that was done to the cars, bears have big, big paws with big, big claws, okay? And I seem to recall a few years ago, this is quite a while ago, there was some controversy, minor controversy, about billboards put up by a particular beer company. And they implied that bears enjoyed their beer. And they had a picture of a bear holding a beer like this. And of course, that would require you to have an opposable thumb. And bears don't have opposable thumbs. So the interesting thing is that bear marks are distinctive. So if you bought a bear costume that was anatomically correct with respect to the paws, and it has claws on it, you could make marks that would look like bear marks. But here, the interesting thing is that the cars were parked in front of security cameras. And so somebody must have thought, well, if we do this in front of a security camera, when somebody goes, wait, a bear broke into your car? We can say, yeah, look, our security camera caught it. But now you've got to hope that it's authentic enough looking to where somebody watching it isn't going to go, is that a bear or is that a guy in a costume? And a lot of people, I am convinced, don't actually think that insurance fraud is the same level of crime as something else. So in other words, if you break into a building and steal $141,000, oh yeah, that's serious. But if you defraud an insurance company of $141, it's just an insurance company. Oh no. The insurance company will treat it the same as theft, and they'll call the police, and the police will treat it quite seriously, and they're not going to distinguish and go, well, you got it from an insurance company as opposed to just some random building. No. It's a very serious thing. And so the sad part is that insurance companies often face claims like this. And look, there was 3 claims here, 2 of which got paid. They paid the first 2 claims. And I've mentioned before that I used to handle claims against insurance companies filed on behalf of consumers whose claims were denied. And they would often accuse clients of mine of faking insurance claims. And I'm not making this one up. I had a client whose house was destroyed by a tornado. And they said, well, we can't dispute that there was a tornado, but we dispute the contents of the house. And I'm not going to get heavily into that because that's getting far afield. But my point is that when insurance companies deny claims, they go, but look at something like this. It happens all the time. Now, this is in the news because the guys actually did the bear costume thing. And yes, there is insurance fraud out there. But it's like anything else. They're gonna exaggerate it the other direction so they can deny more claims. And so every time they catch somebody doing this, I'm happy because hopefully it'll discourage other people from doing crazy things like this. But at least if you're going to do it, and I'd never advise you do it, but if you're going to do it, get caught and make sure it's funny. Because I get to do a video and say, thank you, Joe, for sending this from KRCR, and Ashley Harding, thank you for writing it. But California men have been accused of using a bear costume to pull off a bizarre insurance fraud plot. And all 4 of them have been charged with insurance fraud and conspiracy after their bear video was debunked by biologists. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. A day without sunshine is like, night.